VAR have yet another shambles week. No change for Chelsea, who have got Real Madrid next. Villa soaring. Leicester are going down. Controversial West Ham victory. Spurs get away with 3 points, and some previews for the big games today. Liverpool, Arsenal, of course, on this episode. So we'll just get straight into it with Wolves, Chelsea. Chelsea are just not changing, still in a crisis. And Frank Lampard is not going to change them. They've gone from Tuchel to Potter to Lampard. They're all worse than each other. You'd say, like, to someone, Tuchel was, if you came into the club, Tuchel was maybe top 5 managers. You know, he'd just won the Champions League with Chelsea and all that. And they sacked him. And they got Potter, who, yes, was doing really well at Brighton, but is not going to be able to manage a team who have just bought £600 million pounds worth of players, and, you know, he's not used to their style of football, the different players there, because he's got a team of good individuals that don't play as a team. And now they've got Frank Lampard, who literally just comes from his holiday to manage a Chelsea side with about like a £700 million pound squad, and just for part-time. And they've lost to Wolves, and what would frustrate the Chelsea fans is that they played 4 at the back when that has never ever worked when Potter started, and Frank Lampard changed it back to it. You have Cucurella, who's a decent wing back, but he can't play left back. You know, you've got Reece James, who's the best attacking fullback, and you're playing him at right back. Why not use his strengths? There was Mudryk, who was just waiting for the ball to come to him the whole time. He wasn't trying to help out with the play. He was doing absolutely nothing. And back to Cucurella again. Yes, the goal was really good from Matheus Nunes, but you need to close him down. You need to read the game that the ball is going to come over to him, because he's got a good shot on him, and that's how they scored the goal. Some poor defensive displays as well from the centre-backs. I think Chelsea this season altogether have scored 29 goals, and Haaland scored 30. One man, Haaland, has scored more goals than the whole Chelsea side who won the Champions League 2 or 3 years ago. It's bonkers, absolutely bonkers. Although we're going to go to something that it frustrated me, because it happens all the time now. VAR, yet another shambles week. 3 different games, I think it was, that they screwed up. We'll start. The biggest one was definitely Spurs Brighton. It was absolutely shambolic, because the one bad thing for Spurs is that their manager got sent off, but that's not a huge thing. And yes, he shouldn't have got sent off because he didn't get involved with any of it. But Brighton's that handball from Mitoma, it hit his shoulder. The rule was that anything below the sleeve is handball. So anything, if you're wearing a short sleeve top, anything from here down is a handball, you know? And it hits him right on the sleeve, right here, and they give it a handball. It was a brilliant goal. Took it on his shoulder at least. It was more his armpit, really. Hit there, and then a lovely volley into the back of the net. The penalty as well. What on earth is wrong? We need to know. There needs to be a new thing. There needs to be you so that you're able to hear what VAR is saying in the VAR room. Because what on earth would they be saying to each other with that? Oh, well, it needs to be clear and obvious. That's the most clear and obvious penalty you're ever going to bloody see. He steps right on his left foot, doesn't go anywhere near the ball. Mitoma can't break, he's not going to fall, is he? It's rubbish, shambolic, and Spurs managed to just get away with it with a stinky performance. Happening all the time. They play like the away team. They're at home and they play like the away team. The performance, it's like, yes, you have Kane's having to save them, and in the summer he's going to leave, and he should leave because he deserves it, really. And then finally we can say how good of a player he is because he's not at Spurs anymore. Son finally with a goal. He seems to just randomly come up with these brilliant sort of, he turns inside with one foot and just curls it into the top corner, and he's done that again. But the performance from Spurs, it's not changed since they've sacked Conte. They just lay back, play as defensive as possible when you're at home against a team who have got 2 games in hand on you and could beat you for top 6, 4 or 5. It's shambolic. The other one, I didn't see too much of this actually. All I've heard was in Brentford Newcastle, brilliant win for Newcastle actually. There was I forgot what it was. I think it was the Wilson goal that was disallowed. They took 4.5 minutes and about like 10 looks at different angles and all that to decide what they then said was a clear and obvious foul or handball or something. Foul probably. Well, it definitely is not clear and obvious if you have to take 4.5 minutes to look at it. We need to know. We need to have, because this is football. This is the world sport. We need to have so that when you're watching it, you can hear what the VAR people are saying. You know, like they'd say to the ref, "Oh yeah, that's clear and obvious. We saw this, and this is why." They don't. They just, they show the ref doing his hand signals, penalty and whatever. But they need to tell us why. There's no point in having that ref watch thing where he's basically being told from all the deluded VAR people what to say on it. We need to know what their actual thinking is about it. And then obviously the West Ham one, Fulham West Ham, where I don't know whether you've seen the goal yet, but we were watching it and we thought it was fine, and then you watch it in slow motion, it comes off Pereira's or someone's knee, the Fulham player's knee, and Soufal, so I don't know how to really do this, Soufal basically catches it twice to take it past him, passes it into Bowen, who goes and makes Reed score an own goal. And they don't pick up on that. They didn't even look at it. I mean, there wasn't any Fulham players who were actually asking for it, but don't they check every goal? I thought VAR checked every single goal that went in just to see if there was anything wrong with it, but no, it was fine. I mean, Cornet had a chance at the end which he definitely should have scored with and then we would have deserved the win, because it wouldn't have been a controversial 1-0 sort of probably should have been disallowed goal. And then Fabianski manned the match, clean sheet, and made some superb saves. Who was it? It must have been Pereira, I think so. But he came through, he turned, and Fabianski timed it perfectly and just got his fingertips to it and took it away from him. So he deserved man the match there, definitely. Right, Villa as well with another 2-0 win. Just thinking whether they could get top. I think top 7 is where they'll be aiming. They're 6th at the moment, I think. And I think if they're putting out stuff like this, especially at home, they could beat Brighton, Spurs at home. They might be able to beat Liverpool at home with the performances they're putting out. Fans are really helping. They're doing what the opposite of Spurs are doing at home. You know, they could, with Unai Emery, with a brilliant team. Watkins is a very, very good striker, and you know, they're playing superbly at home. I don't know what their fixtures are, I'll have a look. But before that, actually, Leicester, bloody hell, Leicester losing 1-0 to Bournemouth is absolutely shambolic for them. And now, with that, I do think they're going down, because they sack Brendan Rodgers, and it's got worse, because I think, are they going to get Jesse Marsh in? I think so. But what is wrong? They're going to go down if they keep playing like this. And I had a look at their fixtures. Look, these are a gifted goal as well. Maddison, they just don't look bothered, any of the players. It was only Christensen who bothered to walk round and say goodbye to the fans, and he's been there since January. They've got no fight. It's like Bournemouth. Bournemouth have the fight and the willingness to go and, you know, to stay in the Premier League, whereas Leicester don't. I mean, the maximum I can see them getting, they've got Man City, Wolves, Leeds, Everton, Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham. Well, they're not going to beat City. I don't see them beating Wolves. I don't even see them beating... I'd see maximum 7 to 9 points there. And with all the other teams' fixtures, it's looking very, very bad. They're in a really, really bad position. I don't know when the last time they got relegated is, but really, really bad result for Leicester. Although Bournemouth, I think they'll stay up now. I've been saying the entire season that Southampton and Bournemouth are definitely getting relegated. But now I might be suddenly changing my mind completely and going Southampton, Leicester and Nottingham Forest, because Nottingham Forest's fixtures, they've got some of the toughest fixtures out of like the bottom 9. They've got Man U, Liverpool, Brighton, Brentford, Southampton, Chelsea, Arsenal, Palace. They could only get 6 points out of that. And at the moment they're in the relegation zone. And with 6 points, that takes them to 33, which is not enough. So yeah, the current bottom 3 could be going down with however many games to go. It differs for a lot of teams. Anyway, though, Southampton, who I think are going down, obviously lost to City, with De Bruyne getting his 100th assist and Erling Haaland with his 30th goal and a pretty good overhead kick. City could win all their last games. As we said with Chelsea, Haaland has scored more than the whole Chelsea team combined, and I'll have a look at their fixtures as well. But they could win all their games, and all Arsenal have to do is slip up on. They could slip up today against Liverpool, and we'll do the preview for that actually soon. But all they need to do, Arsenal, if they lose to City, because really City's game in hand is West Ham, so it only really the gap's 5 points, so it only really goes to a 2-point gap. All Arsenal need to slip up on is maybe Man City at the Etihad, which they will, and Newcastle at St James's Park. And also, Brighton could give them a game. Liverpool today probably will. But Man City's fixtures, they could win them all. Leicester, they'll win that. Brighton could give them a game. Then Arsenal, Fulham, West Ham, Leeds, Everton, Chelsea and Brentford. They could win all of them. They might miss out on 2 points on 1 or 2 games, but that'll still be enough. And they could win this league by 1 or 2 points in the end. And I could see why Gary Neville's been so passionate about City winning the league, but just because now their fixtures, it's a 5-point gap. City have got a game in hand against West Ham, which, let's be honest here, they're going to win. That's 2-point gap, and then all City need to do is beat Arsenal at the Etihad, which they probably will. And then City are 1 point ahead at the top, and Arsenal could drop points. Arsenal have got definitely a tougher run than City. Arsenal have got... They've still got Brighton to play, Chelsea to play, Liverpool today to play, Man City, Newcastle. You know, there's teams in there that could easily grab a point against the Gunners. If they can do this, it'll make the title even better to win. But anyway, let's do the quick preview for Liverpool Arsenal. I think this. I was looking at it, I was thinking whether this would decide the title. You know, like if Liverpool win this, Arsenal would miss out on the title for City because this is a huge game. Although if Arsenal can have the spirit to beat Liverpool, then could Arsenal potentially go and win the league after this? It's a huge game for Liverpool because this might ruin their top 6 hopes. But we'll see tonight. My predictions, I don't know. See, Liverpool could turn up at Anfield, but with how the season's going, even if they turn up, this Arsenal side have done it so many times against. They did it against Man U. You know, they've got so many late winners against teams, and I see Arsenal beating them, and I think I could go for something big like 3-1, or I could just go like 2-0, or... Yeah, I do think Arsenal will beat them. I'm going to go 3-1, I'm going to go and out their prediction. But anyway, cheers for watching. Thank you, goodbye.